So if you missed the first video in the series, let me just give you a quick recap so you know what's going on. I've set myself a budget of £500 to buy a car, and I've managed to bag this marvel of Japanese engineering for £50 under budget. The plan is to flip the car for the biggest profit possible, so I can buy a slightly more expensive one and repeat the process all the way until I reach my goal, which is around the £7,000 or £8,000 mark for a Suzuki Carry, which if you don't know is a Japanese K truck far too small to be of any practical use in modern England. In short, can I trade my way up from a £500 ship box to a van that I've always wanted for reasons that I don't really know why. In this episode, if you can call it that, I'm going to be delving into the Jazz and showing you what needs to be sorted in a bit more detail, cleaning her up and getting it ready to sell. Let's get into it. So as much as I've loved owning the car for the last few weeks, it's time to get it cleaned up, photographed and listed for sale. And while I could use a load of purpose-made detailing products to bring it back to life, I've got to remember that I'm doing this on a budget, so I'm going to be using a few little hacks to make this thing look as good as it can do for as little as possible. I needed to get the thick dirt off, because I didn't really fancy doing this on my own driveway, and because the paintwork wasn't in the best condition to begin with, I decided to commit the cardinal sin for anybody who cares about the cars and took it to the local Scratch and Shine. Now I know the exact reasons why you don't go to these places, so please don't try and lecture me, but if you're saying that you've never wanted to have a go washing your car with the warm gritty brush that you find at these places, then you're lying. It's actually quite fun when you don't care. Some people have bungee jumping on their bucket list, but not me, just daft stuff like this. After sanding the paint down with a broom and giving the car a thorough rinse with the finest cold wax that Co-op had to offer, I pumped the tyres up because I noticed they were a little low on some of the footage that I recorded for the last video, and back off home I went. Now I'm going to tackle the easiest bits first. The wheels don't look like they've had a proper clean in, well, forever, so out comes the Purple Rain wheel cleaner. Just spray it on and let it work its magic before going over the harder to reach places like behind the spokes with a mitt and in where the wheel nuts sit with a brush. I'm going to clean the tyres up with some tyre gel later on as well, but if you want it to last a little bit longer, you should scrub the sidewalls down too, just to get rid of as much dirt as possible. I did mention that I was going to use a few hacks to get this Jazz looking factory fresh again, and although I know for a fact I'm not going to get it looking 100%, I can definitely improve the front end by polishing the lights up, because they've gone a little bit yellow and hazy. Rather than going out and buying an expensive polishing kit to buff the lenses up, I went back upstairs, raided the bathroom and found exactly what I needed in there. Toothpaste. When you think about it, it's just polish for your teeth, isn't it? So I cracked on, and after about 5 or 10 minutes working on one light, I took a step back and the results were awesome, even though you can't really tell on camera. Honestly, it works. I mean, look at the state of the rag that I was using. Horrible, isn't it? After finishing both front lights, I moved on to the rears. These weren't as bad, but they needed doing, and I spotted a few marks on the body which buffed out with a bit of Oral-B as well. Smashing. The next hack that you can use is for treating all of your faded black trim. Instead of using tyre and trim gel, you can use olive oil and get the same results. I'm not even joking, just go have a quick Google. But I didn't actually have any, so I ended up breaking into a new bottle of Relish from DOOZYCARCARE that I had lying about in the garage. Remember, if you want to be in with a chance of winning a couple of bottles of cleaning products from Doozy for yourself, then just like the video and drop me a comment down below. I'll pick a winner at the end of the month and have the product sent straight to your door. This is the winner for December, so get commenting to be in with a chance of winning at the end of January. Good luck. I'm going to hand it over to real life Luke now, just to explain what's left to do, because, well, I couldn't get it all done in a day since I had an appointment down the pub with a girl named Stella. In a bit. So here's the beast. 450 quid, and I think it tidies up quite well, to be honest. I've just given it a quick once over. There's still some jobs for me to do. Main one, sort of superficially, is get rid of all the rusty bits. So it'll be license plate off, stainless self-tappers back in, holding that on. I think the plate and everything will clean up. Good thing is the plate front and back, both bridge end group, so I don't think it's been involved in any sort of front or back end shunt. Looks quite tidy. I mean, there's a few stone chips. There's a couple that have started to bubble up on the bonnet, you can see there, but for something that's done 132,000 miles and spent all of its life in Scotland, where I'm guessing the gritters are probably out on the B roads, it's not too bad. I need to focus my efforts mainly on these crusty bits, just to cover them over to make them look a little bit nicer. The plan for this side will be just to sand it back, treat it, spray it black, I would have thought, for the sill. I'm not going to be able to do that with the other side because the extent of the rust is mainly on the door, so I'll probably do the same thing, treat it, and then spray it silver, but I'll probably just mask off sort of a C shape around the bottom of the door so I don't have to do the full thing, and yeah, hopefully it'll blend in okay. But the wheels have come up alright. I've used the purple rain stuff. There's nothing really I want to do with the bubbling. The back wheels are fairly curbed, the worst one's on the other side, but apart from just tidying them up a little bit, they've come up alright. The headlights, like you've probably just seen there, look spot on. I'll just give them a quick clear coat, I think, just to give them a little bit of protection. But the only other things that I've got left to do, apart from the rust, I would have said was this. Oh, there's another bit of rust down here actually on the hatch, but there's this handle to sort out. So the handle on the boot hatch is a little bit sticky, so you have to press it back in to get the hatch to shut again. If you don't do that, then it just bounces. You can lift it back up. So I need to sort that out. I've also got to clean the inside of this out because it is super minging. And hoover everything out. I haven't managed to hoover everything out today. I'm running out of daylight. But it is fantastic for tip runs. I've got some plastic clips to go in here to put the piece of trim back on, just what I had in the garage. I haven't bought any of those. Twat myself in the face. Inside, what have we got to do? Nothing really. Probably saw in the last video that there's the plastics are missing off that seatbelt buckle, but I have found them. They're in here, so I don't know whether I'll be able to salvage them. The first time I've checked it, some bits look a little bit bent, but all the lugs look like they're there. Maybe not, but everything's there. So I'll tell you what, I'll put that back in there so I don't lose it. The headrest can go back in actually, because I've been using it to go to the tip. So I'll put that in later on. But inside, apart from it just needing a bit of a hoover out, you wouldn't have thought that it's done. Put my finger out the way. It's done 132,000 miles now. Jump in the front. Little bit of a ding on the door there, but that's the only one. It looks like it's just been done by a shopping trolley or a door. Again, just need to hoover it all out, but inside, spot on. I'll maybe clean the seats up a little bit because it looks like somebody shat themselves. But everything's beautiful. Let me just test, because I haven't actually done this already. The headlights work, but I haven't seen the back one, so turn that on. Lights on. Lights are working, spot on. Class. Right, you'll catch me in a bit when I'm finishing off the other jobs. So it's a few days later because it's been absolutely heshing it down, and I've got a few more little jobs that I need to tick off before this bad lad gets listed for sale. I started off by fitting some pop clips back into the trim on the rear hatch, and while I was there I freed off that sticky handle too with a bit of WD-40. The rear seatbelt plastics actually went back together alright, even though they looked a little bit damaged when I saw them first time around. But I figured that the buckle must have just been caught under one of the rear seats, because Honda have this neat little party trick where you can lift the seat base up, even though I've found no practical use for it yet. I swapped out those rusty screws on the front and back plate for fresh stainless ones just to tidy it up a bit, and this is the point where I'm meant to sort out the rest of the rust, isn't it? Well, although I would like to tidy it up a bit, the great British weather has other ideas, and I just don't think I'm going to get the chance at this time of year to get parts painted. I mean, all of this work is being done in a driveway rather than in a nice warm workshop, so it really is weather dependent, and it's just too cold for the paint to dry. So I think I'm going to have to cash my chips in, get it photographed as best as I can, and write an advert out which makes it sound like the best thing since sliced bread. The next video in this series should be me telling you how much it's sold for and what I've bought next. I have absolutely no idea when that'll be coming out, but hopefully it won't take too long. And if you don't want to miss it, you can always subscribe to the channel or follow me over on Instagram, where I can keep you updated a little bit easier. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a comment down below to enter the Doozy Car Care giveaway, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is. Bye!